is teacher, and your doctor's job is to teach, reach, and inspire and motivate you to get that knowledge and wisdom and to change your life and the life of your family. And what if I told you that the majority of the things that you learned about health, about healing, about wellness was wrong, or maybe even a lie? Hi, my name is Dr. Eric Nepute, and I've dedicated my life to helping people get to the root cause of their problems and end human suffering. And I've really gone about this in a very non-conventional way. Let me tell you a little bit about my background. Ever since I was a child, I've always wanted to be a physician. I've always wanted to help people solve their problems. But when I started my conventional medical training, it just didn't answer the question, why? And that's where my outside-of-the-box, non-conventional health and wellness training started. You see, not only am I a primary care provider, but I also have a doctorate in natural medicine, a doctorate in chiropractic, a fellowship in functional neurology, a fellowship in internal health. I'm a certified athletic trainer. I've got a master's in clinical nutrition and 3 bachelor's degrees in human anatomy, sports medicine, and chemistry. And I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you that I think and act differently because of that. Not only do I have a very diverse educational background, but my business background is very unique as well. I've owned and operated over 30 of my own health and wellness centers. They're fully integrated practices where people would come from all over the world to be seen. I've owned and operated surgical centers across the United States. I've been a part owner of a nutraceutical company. I've owned part of a hospital system. I've been involved with pharmaceutical biological companies. I've helped train thousands of doctors across the globe on how to get to the root cause of chronic illness. And as of recently, I've been honored to be a part of the Make America Healthy Again campaign, where Secretary of Health and Human Services Bobby Kennedy Jr. has asked me to be a part of the movement to help eradicate chronic illness and childhood illness across the globe. I've also testified in front of Congress at a federal and state level to help improve policies and remove some of the unnecessary regulations so that people can actually get to the root cause of their problems and not just manage the diseases. And over the past 2 decades, I've dedicated my life to understanding the human body at its most fundamental level. I've always been driven by one mission, and that's to find the root cause of health issues, not just treat the symptoms. Now, let me ask you this. Have you or anyone you know ever struggled with fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, leaky gut problems, chronic pain, low libido, anxiety, mood swings, autoimmune disorders, hypertension, heart disease, or liver and kidney issues? I know the list is long, but what if I told you there was a company backed by real science and real results that can help you with all of these issues and much more? Welcome to BioLimitless. I've seen firsthand how powerful the right approach can be, and that's exactly what I want to talk to you about with BioLimitless. Because the more you understand about how you are and how your body works, the better you can help yourself and help your family. Because self-care is the real healthcare, and it begins with understanding about you. At BioLimitless, we offer unique technologies backed by research and designed to help tens of thousands of people get better every single day. Let me tell you a little bit about some of the products and how they work. Let's first talk about our Cellular Reset formula. Cellular Reset is not like any typical metabolic or performance supplement on the market. It's a peptide-based bioregulator formula designed to work at a cellular level by combining strategic peptides in a specific manner in order to improve mitochondria, improve cellular repair, and improve metabolism. Some of the amazing results that you're going to have with that is rapid fat loss. We're going to shift your body from a sugar burner to a fat burner without losing muscle mass. In fact, our peptide blend has an exercise in a bottle in it where it literally mimics exercise and helps your body build muscle while burning fat at the same time and helping systemically reduce inflammation, which accelerates tissue recovery and improves endurance, helping your body rest, recharge, and operate at its full biologic potential. Now let's talk a little bit about our Cell Signals formula. This is a revolutionary bioregulator formula designed to optimize cellular communication and restore cellular efficiency, supporting energy, performance, and systemic balance in the human body. Listen, as we age, the production of key cell signaling molecules decline, dropping by 90% or more by the age of 30. This disrupts our cells' ability to vibrate at a frequency for energy production, detoxification, and repair. And these changes contribute to fatigue, brain fog, slower recovery, and other age-related challenges. Cell signal combines bioavailable nutrients to offset those issues and help restore optimal performance to the human body. Now, I'm sure many of you know that we're living in an era where anxiety, depression, insomnia, and mental illness are off the charts and rising. Our Neural Reboot formula is a potent tripeptide bioregulator formula designed to help rewire brain function, refire metabolic processes, and reboot cellular regeneration. This advanced blend of peptides works synergistically to restore balance at a cellular level, helping you think clearer, feel stronger, and perform at your best. This formula helps cellular renewal restoration, helps metabolic activation, cognitive function optimization. It connects the brain-gut axis, which helps maintain the communication between the neurotransmitters of your gut and your brain, and it helps with cellular vitality and is the key to longevity. Now, since we're speaking of the brain-gut connection, let me tell you about one of my favorite formulas, our Master Microbiotic formula. It is a clinically validated bioregulator formula designed to optimize gut health and recolonize the microbiome with potent spore-based master microbes, and is supported by gut-healing regenerative peptide known as BPC-157, the healing peptide. Utilizing our patented phytomicroencapsulation technology, this formula delivers beneficial probiotics directly into the small intestine where we need them the most. This formula helps restore gut health, boost immune system, and enhances overall well-being in the human body. Now, in our increasingly toxic world, we are bombarded with harmful substances every single day, from heavy metals to microplastics to pesticides, herbicides, larvicides, fungicides, all these chemical toxins that make us toxic. Over 90% of Americans have detectable levels of harmful chemicals in their body that is literally killing them. Our Detox Pro Plus formula is built to combat this toxic burden and support natural detoxification in a safe, daily usable formula, scientifically backed with ingredients that bind and remove toxins while restoring balance at a cellular, genetic, and microbial level. This advanced blend also supports mitochondrial function, healthy inflammation markers, and promotes gut and liver detoxification processes. By targeting the root cause of toxic accumulation, Detox Pro Plus helps restore energy, strengthen immune function, and revitalize overall well-being while empowering the human body to function properly. Now, unlike most healthcare experts, at BioLimitless, we test, we don't guess. Now, I'm not here to discredit traditional healthcare, but if you've been searching for a better way, one that understands how your body works at a genetic and a cellular level, then BioLimitless is the answer. At BioLimitless, we know that true health starts within you. You have the power to transform your life, but it has to start with you. Self-care reimagined begins with you understanding more about yourself. Our BioLimitless DNA Discovery Kit measures over 800,000 genetic markers in your body and gives you the map and the blueprint how to live your life. If you don't understand how to live your genetic lifestyle, I don't care what vitamins, minerals, and supplements you take, you're not optimizing your production. What if there was a test that you could take from home that could measure how you should sleep, how you should exercise, what supplements you should have, when you should take them, what types of injuries your body's prone to, and much, much more? This test by itself has been an absolute game changer for thousands of my patients, and it'll be a game changer for you as well. At BioLimitless, we know that health starts from within. You have the power to transform your health, but it has to start with you. So let's get started today. Go to the link below, explore the products, and join the thousands who have found a better path to health with BioLimitless. Click the link, take control of your health, and transform your life, because self-care is the real healthcare. Hey everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope you guys are having a great day today. Good morning. Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Dr. Eric Nepute. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to be with you today. We've got a lot to discuss. We're going to talk a little bit about some common sense. We're going to try to do some common sense conversations today. Give me a second. You guys see me? Give me a thumbs up. You guys can see me and hear me. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me double check on something real quick for me. Just 1 second. Perfect. Good. Sorry, we're having some technical internet issues here. There we go. Perfect. Yes. Yes. That's what it's made for. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's good to see you guys. I'm excited to be with you today. Yesterday, we had a fantastic conversation about health, about getting the conversation going about what most people's common problems are and how to fix them. Listen, I'm just telling you, I'm trying to take these complex systems of health and make it simple so that we can apply them to your life. And I know you guys appreciate that. I know that's why you're here every day. So it's great to see all you guys. Make sure that you guys like these videos. Make sure that you subscribe to them and share. You guys, we have to share this stuff. You have to share. We got to break the algorithms, and I want you guys to engage with me a little bit. So let me know where you're watching from. Let me give you guys a shout out, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Tammy, good morning this morning in Wisconsin. Miss Julie down in Tennessee. Hope you're doing well. Susan, good morning this morning, young lady. Irina, good morning. Great to see you as well. Happy birthday, by the way, young lady. Kathy, good morning in Colorado. Dina, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Miss Phyllis, good morning down in Tennessee. Yeah, we had some of those nasty storms as well. Sven, good day, my friend. Hope you're doing well in Norway. Christy, good morning. Good to see you. Hopefully Jack's all right, doing well. You guys are good. Vicky, good morning this morning in Minnesota. Hey, Andrea, great to see you as well. Jen, good morning. Linda, good morning. Oh, there's some of my favorite people right there. Sherry and Eddie, good morning this morning. Miss Sharon, it's great to see you in Wisconsin as well, Andrea. Sean, good morning in Arizona. Susan, good morning in Ontario. How's everything going on up in Canada? I was up there recently. God bless you guys. It's still a little crazy. It's crazy everywhere. Linda, good morning in Virginia. Darlene, hello in Arizona. Great to see you as well. Marlene, it's good to see you in South Dakota. Marcy, always great to see you. I hope you and Robert are doing great down at the Lake of the Ozarks. All right, guys, listen, we've got a conversation. I want to get into something today that I'm going to tell you is one of the most important conversational pieces we can have. And I'm telling you, it is really one of the keystones. Like if we're talking about what are the core imbalances that are root cause issues that lead to people's suffering, symptoms, and ultimately diseases, it's what I'm going to talk about with you today. It's truly insulin. It's insulin resistance. It's sugar toxicity. It's overabundance of these problems that you are dealing with in your life, that your friends and family are dealing with in their life. And if we don't do something about them, it's going to do something about us. And I need you to understand that there are things you can do. You know, we always talk about the importance of removing heavy metals and microplastics. Many of you guys saw that Secretary Kennedy and the United States government has now declared a war on microplastics. That's because these microplastics are horrible. Their root cause, they're disconnectors. They're root cause blockages in the body. And remember, we always talk about how you're not broken, you're blocked, and you're not diseased, you're disconnected. These are major blockages. Well, another major blockage is insulin and insulin resistance. Now, how many of you have ever heard of insulin before? Somebody type in insulin down at the bottom for me. Type in insulin so we can talk about insulin. You guys, let's discuss what insulin is. Insulin is a hormone, okay? Now, every time you eat a meal, okay? Now, every time, and I mean every time you eat a meal, your insulin levels go up, okay? I need you to understand something. Every time insulin goes up, guess what happens? You gain something. You gain something. Every time you eat a meal, you have a snack, you have a beverage with some sugar in it or some carbohydrates, insulin is going to spike. When insulin goes up, all your other hormones are going to go down. Testosterone is going to go down. Estrogen is going to go down. Progesterone is going to go down. Cortisol is going to go up. That's the stress hormone.
inflammation is going to go up, and metabolism is going to slow down. Folks, when you eat food, anytime you eat food, and I like food, I eat food. You don't get a physique like this without enjoying food, but you got to eat food in the right sequence and the right timing. I'm going to share with you some of these things today about insulin and insulin resistance. Now, let's talk about this. Insulin is a hormone, all right? And it is a very important hormone. And unfortunately, it's misunderstood by so many people. And I want to tell you and teach you and show you how to control your insulin. Because if you can control your insulin, you can control your pain. If you can control your insulin, you control your emotions and your mood. If you control your insulin, you can control your sleep. If you can control your insulin, you control the rest of your hormones. If you can control insulin, we can control fat loss and metabolism. And if you can control insulin, you can control your life. Okay, but right now, most of you, insulin is controlling you. You're not controlling it. So I want to give you some high-level strategies and action steps that you can put into your life literally every day to help with this. Now, please remember our core premise that we talk about all the time. Your body is not broken. It's blocked, okay? Insulin, especially insulin resistance, is not a life sentence, okay? It's not. It's a reversible metabolic state that develops really when the body receives the wrong inputs. When it's getting too many carbohydrates, it's getting too low minerals, it's getting too many toxins in it. There's more to this conversation than just eating too much sugar and bread and pasta, okay? Now, our approach is unique and different. Our approach is unique and different in the fact that the goal that we're going to go after today is not just symptom management, okay? It's full metabolic restoration through structured lifestyle inputs and consistently doing the right thing over the right amount of time. If you'll do that, your body is forced to make these results. If you'll put in the right work and do it consistently over time, you will get the right result. That is the key. That is the solution. There's nobody that can argue with that. And what I'm going to share with you today is not difficult. It's not hard, but it's probably different than most of you have heard before, which is why you're suffering with a lot of the symptoms that we discussed. Now, what we're going to talk about today is a roadmap, a metabolic roadmap for metabolic restoration. I'm going to teach you 4 main things today. Number 1, we're going to talk food strategy. All right. And I'm not going to talk a ton about what you need to eat as much as when you need to eat it. So that's why we're going to talk about fasting and timing. Because I'm telling you, fasting and timing is such a big deal. You're killing yourself, literally killing yourself when you're having several small snacks throughout the course of a day. Okay. If you're having breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack, bednight snack, waking up in the midnight, having a snack, you're insulin resistant. Your body's stuck in a cycle and you can break it. We can break it relatively quickly. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. Then we're going to talk about how you can maintain muscle and protein, because right now, so many people are getting these GLP-1 injections and these shots are causing problems with people like you wouldn't believe. And we're going to teach you how you can burn fat and restore your muscle, because if you lose muscle, you lose metabolism, period. Do not forget that. Okay. And then we're going to talk a little bit about movement. I'm going to give you some daily activities and some structured exercise that's very simple. And I know that exercise can be a 4-letter word for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, so let's talk about controlling insulin at the very entry point. This is the key. Okay, the single most powerful lever that you have over insulin is what you eat and in what order you eat. Let me say that again. Sequence is power. Somebody write in the chat, sequence is power, or order is power. It's all about the sequence in which you eat your meals. So I'm going to teach you something. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, or put your screen record on, or get your phone out and record this conversation. Because if you just put this into play, I've seen this reduce insulin across the board with people by 20 to 30% if you will just stay consistent with doing the right things. Okay. So here we go. This is going to change your metabolic function in a manner that you didn't even realize was possible. There's a 4-step sequence to our meals, okay? Step number 1, we're going to eat fiber and fats first. Fiber and fat first. Somebody write in the chat, fiber and fat first. Okay, that's really important that we're doing fiber and fat first. Begin with some type of soluble fiber. I take a fiber drink before almost every meal. It's a soluble fiber that has a psyllium husk with it. It helps with slowing down gastric emptying. It helps coat my GI tract, so when I eat food, I don't absorb as much sugar and carbohydrates. So if you have fat and if you have fiber before you eat the rest of your food, it's going to lower your blood sugars immensely. So put fat and fiber number one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, what you want to do is you want to consume your protein source next. So it's fat and fiber and then protein. So when you make your plate, number one, you got to put your fat and fiber number one and eat those first. Like have a drink of fiber, have an avocado, have an egg, have some coconut oil, have that first. Okay, that's a great way to start. It lowers the glycemic index, lowers the insulin response. Number two, eat your protein second. Okay, consume your protein source second. Okay, protein stimulates the feeling of being full. Okay, it makes the hormones in the body like ghrelin and leptin. And then it minimizes the direct impact on blood sugars. Like you don't get fat from eating meat. Let me say that again. You do not get fat from eating protein unless your calorie consumption is already so high that every little bit you're eating is so much higher than you're burning, that then you'll gain fat from eating protein. But most people cannot gain weight, cannot gain fat anyway from eating protein. Now, the third step you need to do, okay? Third step is vegetables. It's time to eat your vegetables. So fat and fiber first, protein is number two. Then number three is your veggies. Eat your veggies third in your sequence of food. Don't mix it around. Don't eat a piece of meat, then some veggies, then some potatoes. No. Do the fats and fiber first, do the protein second. Number three, fiber like non-starchy vegetables will further fill the stomach, make you feel full, have you eat, not overeat, and it will add those micronutrients to your body. And that fiber keeps your bowels moving, keeps the sugar under control. Game changer. Then number four, that's when you can have your carbohydrates, okay? That's when you can have your bread, your pasta. That's when you can have your chips, your salsa. Do it in that order. So you guys write that in there. Number one is fats and fiber. Write in the chat. Two is protein. Protein is the second sequence to eat your food. Third is your vegetables. And fourth is the carbohydrates last. Eat it in that sequence, folks. That by itself is a biohack to change the way that your body processes and absorbs sugars. Because when you eat foods in that sequence, your insulin doesn't spike. When insulin spikes, you grow. Just somebody write in the chat, insulin equals grow, okay? Insulin can grow muscles if you're exercising and strengthening and breaking down muscles and giving it time to build. So insulin can grow muscles. Insulin can grow fat, and that's usually what it does. Insulin grows fat cells. That's why, you know people that are diabetics, and if they are not making insulin, okay, listen, if they're not making insulin, they can eat 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 calories in a day and still not gain a pound. Now, they're dying on a cellular level on the inside because they're not getting their fuel, but they're not gaining a pound. At least in their legs and their arms, they're not. They're gaining it only in the midsection. That's insulin resistance, okay? So let's talk a little bit about quality food rules. So here's what we talk about. When we prioritize our food, I want you to prioritize protein first, okay? Prioritize protein as one of the, from a quantity standpoint, the most abundant part of your foods needs to be protein, okay? You should have about 1 gram, okay, about 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. So, as we're sitting here right now, my ideal body weight that I want to keep my body at is around 200 pounds. That's ideal for me, okay? Now, oh boy. Okay. And so, all right. Well, that's crazy. Okay. Sorry. Just got a message. Do me a favor. sorry, I just got distracted. So when you eat protein, you should have about 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. So if you want to be around 150 pounds, 150 grams of protein a day is ideal for you. I know that seems like a lot because most of you aren't consuming near enough. That's why we become the skinny fat guys, right? Because we're not getting enough protein in our diet. Now, here's what I'll tell you. If you take protein on a high dose like I do, you must take a digestive enzyme. All right. Now, somebody write this in the chat. Digestive enzyme. This will help you break down your protein so that you can absorb it efficiently. Okay, this will help you break down your protein so you can absorb it efficiently. This will help you break down all your food so you can absorb it efficiently. The problem is not ingesting foods, it's absorbing foods. We get over the age of 30 to 35, we drastically lose our enzymes in our body. This is our biozyme enzyme that we created with BioLimitless. If you look at the back of this, the number one enzyme in here is protease. It's got a lot. It's got 120 HUTs, which is the amount of protease in here. And that protease is in between a 3 and a 9 pH, which means it can help digest in the human GI tract protein. So you need to be taking a digestive enzyme. Take one of these with every time you eat a meal with high protein. Now, today, I'm going to eat 1 meal a day. Okay, today's my 1 meal today that I'm going to do. So tonight, when I get home, I'm going to have a lot of protein. I'm going to have probably 1 or 2 protein shakes. That's going to give me about 50 grams of protein. I'm going to have probably another 50 grams of protein from, animal meat sources. There's 100 grams of protein right there. When I eat that much protein in one setting, I've got to get my biozyme with my body. Number 2, you got to have soluble fiber. Okay, soluble fiber blunts the sugar spikes. Okay, so there's a lot of them out there. Acai fiber is good. Psyllium husk is really good. Chia seeds are a whole different ball game. Somebody's asking about that, but I take every morning or every meal I have something called Balance, and it's a fiber that I take that coats my intestinal tract. Then you've got to have whole unprocessed foods, real foods, eat real foods. Okay. Listen, you can't have junk foods anymore. If you're really trying to control your insulin, you can't live the standard American lifestyle and be healthy. It's not possible. Okay. So sugar in all forms needs to be eliminated. All right. This days of adding sugar. How many of you guys remember when we were kids having Kool-Aid? And I remember my mom, God rest her soul, who was diabetic and had kidney issues, would grab spoonfuls of sugar and put it in that, red dye number 5 water with sugar in it. We can't do that. And we've got to get rid of breads, pastas, crackers, cereals. Those things are causing problems. Whether you like it or not, they're causing problems, okay? And we've got to eliminate the liquid calories, okay? Juices, sodas, soft drinks, sweetened coffee, these all spike your insulin without triggering that feeling of full. That's not good, all right, at all. So let's talk about lowering your baseline insulin. This is a big one as well. And let me give you some biohacks on this. You cannot burn fat in the presence of high insulin. Let me say that again. High insulin equals no fat burn. Let me say that again. High insulin equals no fat burn. All right. Fasting is the most efficient tool that allows your insulin levels to fall far enough to unlock that fat burner, especially guys, if you're over the age of 35 years old. Metabolism turns down at 30. Okay. Sometimes it does it even younger because of the stress we're under, but you cannot burn fat in the presence of high insulin. Okay. Somebody put that in the chat. All right. Okay. So listen, fasting framework. Let's talk about rules to follow for fasting. Number 1, start doing a 12 and 12. What does that mean? All right. So begin with 12 hours of fasting and 12 hours of feeding. That's easy for most people. So let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night. You're not going to have anything to eat again until, let's say your last meal is at 6 or 7 p.m. You're not going to eat again until 6 or 7 a.m. Okay. Start with that. Once you can do 12 and 12 easy, then we're going to move to 14 and 10. 14 and 10 is when we start to extend our fasting period. 14 hours of fasting, 10 hours of feeding, okay? That is important for you to do that. The longer you can push back your break fast, which is what breakfast is, the faster your body can get into ketosis, the faster it can adapt. Give your body a good week to 2 weeks of doing this if you're not used to fasting. If you're used to fasting, then you can jump into the target. The target is 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of feeding. This is really the metabolic sweet spot for most people. Eating within that 8-hour window and fasting for 16 hours overnight is really the game changer that most people need, especially you get over the age of 40 years old. You get 16 to 18 hours, that's when we can start seeing blood sugars go down, insulin go down, inflammation go down, toxic load go down. Because when your body is in the presence of high insulin, all those other processes shut down in your system. You feel old, you feel bloated, you feel tired, your brain turns down, your metabolism goes to a screeching halt. Okay. Now, advanced fasting is what I try to do at least every day, is an 18 to 6. Okay. Now, for significant insulin resistance, if you've got type 2 diabetes, even type 1 diabetes, insulin resistance can be dealt with whenever you are using fasting and using the right nutrients as well. So an 18-hour fast accelerates the results and deepens that fat adaptation, that fat burn. And when you get good at doing 18 hours a day of fasting and eating within a 6-hour window, which is not difficult once you get used to it, it takes time to build that up, but then you can start doing one meal a day every once in a while. And then you can start doing, like I try to do a 24-hour fast at least one day a week. And then at least once or twice a month, I'm going to do a 48-hour fast where I'm just going to have a water fast or a fluid fast. Doing that fasting framework really is a quintessential rule. Here's some fasting rules, okay? Number 1, no grazing, okay? Every time you eat, even if it's a handful of nuts, even if it's a piece of celery, like even small snacks, insulin can spike, okay? And constant snacking, every time you eat, you get a spike of insulin. Insulin goes up, fat burn stops. Insulin goes up, fat burn stops. Insulin goes up. You got to do that. You got to stop before bed. You need to stop eating at least 2 hours to 3 hours before bed. Number 1, that'll help you sleep through the night. Most of you are not sleeping through the night because you are not balancing your blood sugars. And then you got to protect your window. Your fasting window needs to be a sacred time for you. Listen, it even talks in the Bible that certain diseases can only be cast out through prayer and fasting. So making sure you're getting water, getting electrolytes, black coffee, lots of good organic salt, plain teas like green teas are allowed. Anything with calories or artificial sweeteners, just consider it to break your fast. And I don't even want to argue about it. Like, that's just the way that it is, okay? And once we're doing this process, we've also got to get our rebuild metabolic engine started up again. Your metabolism is your muscle, okay? Muscle is the largest glucose disposal organ. It's a sponge. If your sugars are elevated, this is the problem I see with my patients in my practices. I get their sugars and insulins to come down. We get their A1Cs to go from like an 11 down to a 7, which is a game changer for people. But getting them below that 4 points, that 5.9, that 5.7 where we want it, it's almost impossible unless I can get the body producing metabolic muscle function again. And you don't have to go to the gym and kill yourself. All you have to do is use these common sense principles, okay? So one thing, number 1, muscle matters. Skeletal muscle accounts for 80%. Somebody write down muscle is 80% of your sugar absorption. 80%. So if you're not moving your muscles, then your body is not going to absorb the sugars. Your insulin is going to stay high, and eventually you're going to get insulin resistance because your body has no idea what to do and how to function. So here are the biohacks that you need to follow. Prioritize going for a walk after a meal. Listen, if you only have 30 minutes for your lunch break, then eat for 15 minutes and go for a 10-minute walk. You're going to get a bigger bang for your buck if you do that. We do know that doing some resistance training 1 to 3 times a week is a game changer. Usually it's once a week upper body, once a week lower body, and then once a week you do the full body. But you can do full body all the time. Just prioritize compound movements, focus on progressive loads. We've got to move heavy stuff. Ladies, the latest data shows if you want to beat menopause and you want to beat becoming an old lady, guys, listen up as well. We got to move heavy weight. It preserves lean muscle mass even during fat loss. That is so important. We're seeing a whole generation of skinny fat people right now that are on these injectable medications that are totally jacking themselves up because they're looking for a quick fix. And the quick fix is really lifestyle change. Okay. Now here's another, again, I'm going to put it up here, but this is the non-negotiable macros for metabolic balance. 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. Most ladies, you're going to need about 100 to 120 grams of protein. Most guys, we need about 150 to 170 grams of protein a day, okay? Try to get 30 to 40 grams of protein with each meal. And for the love of God, please take a digestive enzyme with your protein so you can actually break it down, digest it, and absorb it. That's why you look old and feel old. You are no longer digesting the foods properly. Get the biozyme. It's designed for that, okay? Now, if you learn how to use your glucose instead of storing it, you won't get fat. You won't get obese. Okay. We want to make walking part of your meal time. Okay. Walking and slow walking, especially up hills with a little resistance, is a game-changing process for all humans. Going for a 10-minute walk post-meal can literally lower your blood sugars by up to 30 points. Okay. A 10-minute walk. It activates the GLP-1 receptors. It reduces insulin. It causes your body to absorb the glucose, the sugar through the proteins and the muscles in the body, and it accelerates the clearing of glucose from the bloodstream. If it's not sitting in the blood, insulin's not going to spike. And listen, you guys, here's another thing. If you work at a desk job like most people do, here's the rule of thumb for you. Get up and move every hour, okay? So like every hour, set an alarm and go for a 2-minute walk. Get up and go to the bathroom, walk around the building, go get a water, go get something, move your body, because if we're sitting prolonged for a couple of hours or more, our body goes into hibernation state, okay? You got to choose your activity options, do things you love to do, little things, take the stairs instead of the elevator, park farther from the building. Like these little things add up to get those 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And listen, I agree. I understand people are saying, 10,000 steps a day is hard to do. Well, then why don't you just practice 10 minutes a day? Like if you'll just focus on 10 minutes a day of movement, that will help your body metabolically in a massive, massive way. So you got to fix the hidden drivers. Okay. Sleep and stress are two big drivers of insulin resistance. Most people are not sleeping properly. Their cortisol levels are rising. They're staying risen through the night. That's why they can't sleep. Most of you have insomnia because of sugar imbalances and because of insulin resistance. It is the number one reason why you have sleep issues is because of insulin resistance. It's the number one reason. So if we can do some of these key hacks that can help the body, number one is stop eating meals at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. If you can stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed, that will lower insulin resistance and help you sleep better. If you can go to bed at the consistent time of around 10:30, that is such a powerful tool. Eliminate your blue light exposure. So stay off of your cell phone or get blue blockers before you go to bed and use those for the last couple hours of the day. Eliminates that blue light at least an hour or two before bed. And then keep the bedroom cool, keep it dark, and keep it screen free. TV's off, lights off, keep it cold in there. All right. And by the way, no alcohol 2 to 3 hours before sleep either. That's going to screw up your sleep cycle. And then you're going to wake up insulin resistant, which is why you should fast in the morning anyway, because typically when you wake up and your sugars are elevated, and a lot of you that are even type 1 diabetics notice this. So if you get up in the morning and your sugars are high, you're going to have issues with gaining weight first thing in the morning. That's why you should push your breakfast back until later in the day. So stress and cortisol levels go super high. In order to keep cortisol levels under control from stress, we recommend a couple things. Number one, magnesium glycinate. If you take magnesium glycinate before bed, one of the reasons why it helps your body sleep is it stimulates the GABA, which is the relaxation part of the brain. It stimulates melatonin, which is the help you fall asleep part of the brain and hormones. And then it also helps balance the blood sugars so that you're not sleeping insulin resistant. Okay. So we recommend magnesium glycinate. 150 to 300 milligrams before bed is a really good dose to help with blood sugar balance. That's huge. If you also have issues with blood sugars, you wake up in the morning with sugar issues, take 1 or 2 digestive enzymes before you go to bed. That can damper down the insulin and the blood sugars as you sleep. It also prolongs the benefits of your fasting. You can absolutely also reduce body fat and inflammation by using this protocol. Insulin goes low, body fat and visceral fat goes low, and inflammation goes low. So if you have a lot of pain, if you've got a fatty liver, if you've got fat around your organs, the only way to really fix it is to use intermittent fasting and change the consistency and frequency of the meals that you eat. Like there's just a non-negotiable. Fat loss. All right, let's talk about fat loss as a metabolic repair in the body. So visceral fat, which is the scary fat, that's inflammatory fat. It's gradual. It builds up. That's where your toxins are stored. Your toxins are stored in your visceral fat. Somebody write down fat stores toxins. Fat stores toxins. Put that in there. Because when you get those toxins to come out of the body, you've got to get the fat to come out of the body. That's how they come together. So in order to do that, we got to eliminate processed foods. If it's not real, don't eat it. We got to remove industrial seeds. Seed oils are omega-6s, okay? These are things like soybean, corn oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. Eating the oils themselves regularly, you get too much omega-6 in the cells, and then omega-3 goes down. Omega-3 is an anti-inflammatory. It's also a glucose balancing oil in the body that is necessary and essential for you to eat every day. So we also recommend that you take 3 grams a day of omega-3 fish oils in your diet. So you can get this from fatty fish, walnuts, flaxseed. You can get those kinds of things to reduce the omega-6s in your diet and get more omega-3s in your system. And then eat a lot of colorful plants. I'm a big fan of blueberries and raspberries, dark leafy green colored, purples and reds and different colored vegetables have all these polyphenols in them. And if you get the right kind of omega-3 fish oil, it'll have a ton of polyphenols in it as well. And olive oil is really good for that. So in addition to the insulin, you got to support gut health with this. If you want to keep your insulin levels under control, you must be taking a plant-based multi-enzyme, and you better be taking a good probiotic or eating fermented foods. We created a probiotic out of necessity. This is our Master Microbiotic formula. We studied the blue zones of the world, looked at all the fecal matters of individuals that were in the longevity studies, and this is the blend that we found. The Master Microbiotics is the bacteria and fungi that are normally in the blue zones of the world. These are the areas of the world where people live happier, healthier, longer, more productive lives. So taking 2 of these 1 time a day is what your body needs. You can put it on your yogurt. You can put it right in your food. You need some fermented foods. Taking gut microbiotics and using digestive enzymes are the key, but you got to have minerals in your diet. Now, let's talk about the importance of minerals. You need to understand that minerals are a huge component of the cell's ability to absorb the sugars and keep insulin under control. So we created a formula. This is what we do with all of our diabetics and insulin-resistant patients. We put them on the Detox Pro Plus formula. It has 84 of the most bioavailable minerals. You just shake this up, open this lid up, and pour about a half a teaspoon into your favorite beverage or right into your mouth once a day, okay? This will help pull out heavy metals, microplastics, which, by the way, heavy metals and microplastics disrupt your hormones, including insulin. Microplastics can cause an increase in insulin spikes in the body. The detox formula helps remove those from the system, and it backfills the body with these minerals. It's 84 of the most ionic bioavailable minerals that you can get, period. And so you need to be using enzymes. You need to be getting fiber. You need to be using probiotics, and you need to be taking minerals. Now, in addition to sea salts and things like that, we know that if your vitamin D level, D as in dog, if your vitamin D level is below an 80 on a blood test, it should be between an 80 and 120 nanograms per milliliter. If it is below that, then your body has a higher sensitivity of insulin resistance. We can lower and have lowered A1Cs and insulin resistance by giving people vitamin D3 and K2. Most adults need about 10,000 international units a day of vitamin D3. If your blood sugars are high, if you're obese, if you're taking any medications for blood sugars, high blood pressure, or cholesterol, that's going to lower your absorption of vitamin D3 and K2. So you need a higher dose of this. If you're going on, okay, which most of you have, and you do not have enough vitamin D3, K2, this is a fundamental imbalance to your problem. You will not fix your problem until you get your vitamin D3 levels and K2 levels balanced. I already told you also about magnesium. We give for all of our insulin resistant patients and diabetics, we give them magnesium glycinate, about 150 to 300 milligrams a day. The more blood sugar issues they have, the more obesity they have, the higher the dose we use. We go up to 600 milligrams sometimes with folks. That's 2 of these in the morning and 2 of these in the evening time. It helps balance out the insulin in the body. Magnesium does over 300 different processes with different enzymes, including dealing with insulin, liver function, and burning of stored fat. So if you have insulin resistance, or if you have issues with diabetes or any blood sugar problems, magnesium glycinate is a solution for you. And that's also a non-negotiable with my patients. We also talk about zinc. Now, zinc and copper go together like peas and carrots. And if your insulin is a problem, you should be eating more peas and carrots. But you got to understand that zinc is critical for insulin production, for storage, and for secretion. The pancreas is the organ that makes your insulin and deals with blood sugars on a high level. And if you don't have enough zinc in your system, and we use a formula that's a zinc copper blend. I'm a big fan of high dose zinc. This is zinc glycinate. It's the best absorbable form of it. It's a chelated form. We put copper in here as well, because when you start doing more than 15 to 20 milligrams a day of zinc, you really should have copper to balance it out, which is also why we put the K2 with our D3. It's not for absorption. It's because when you do high dose D3, you need some K2 to keep the minerals in your bones where they're supposed to be. So we give all of our patients magnesium, zinc, and D3 that are dealing with insulin resistance. Those are non-negotiables for us in our functional medicine practice. And then we test, not guess. You guys know that's our biggest philosophy. If you want to really fix problems, you got to know what you're dealing with. So knowing your fasting insulin is such an important number. Listen, you're going to get insulin resistance before you a lot of times even have symptoms, and you're going to have that before your A1Cs get out of balance. So the A1C could be normal, which is an important test. It gives you a 3-month average of your blood sugars. But if you don't have, if you have insulin resistance, which most people do, and you don't check the insulin, you're never going to find that. And then you take your triglycerides and divide it by your HDL. That's a lipid test that you do. And that number should be 2 or below. Okay. If it's above a 3, that's a sign that you've got metabolic inflexibility and that you've got insulin resistance going on. And your body just hasn't shown all the details of it yet. So fasting insulin, A1C, triglycerides divided by your HDL number. That's one of the most important things you can do. And then I'm a big fan of measuring inflammation. So I look at HSCRP and CRP. These are inflammatory markers in the body, okay? So somebody type in the chat, triglycerides divided by HDL. Triglycerides divided by HDL. It's one of the most important numbers that you can know that your doctors probably don't even tell you about. I'm also a fan of continuous glucose monitoring. A lot of times if we're trying to figure out with a patient of mine what foods they should eat and foods they should avoid, that's one of the best ways to do that, because it'll give you some really good like real-time measurements of what you should and should not be doing. And it can also tell you overnight how your sugars are responding and what tweaks you should be making. So here are your daily non-negotiables for dealing with insulin resistance. Number 1, you got to get your fasting window taken care of, okay? Whether it's 16 and 8, 18 and 6, 1 meal a day, you got to get that right. You got to get your fiber right. Have some soluble fiber before each meal. Have your target protein, like we talked about. Make sure you're sleeping proper. Get moving after a meal. Get in that habit of a 10-minute walk post-meal. And then hydration with minerals. That Detox Pro Plus and sea salt has been a game changer for so many of my patients. And just be consistent with it. Consistency is the key, okay? So here's your weekly action steps that you should be taking to balance out your insulin and insulin resistance. Number 1, maintain your fasting window every day, Monday through Sunday, okay? Number 2, eat fiber with each meal. Have a little fiber drink or something before each meal, okay? Hit your protein targets. Get your goal protein daily. Number 4, walk 10 minutes after each meal. Get in bed by 10:30 at night. Hydrate, okay? And use your minerals, especially magnesium, especially zinc and vitamin D3, okay? No snacking, all right, or eating outside of your window. You can eat as much as you want within that little window, okay? And stop eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. Those are non-negotiables. And then get your body doing some resistance training, okay? And review your glucose data and your journals on how you're feeling, okay? Meal prep, especially with proteins. All right, that's a big one. Proper prevention prevents piss poor performance. Those are the 5 Ps, okay? Assess your stress levels, assess your sleep, okay? Start including some fermented foods and start getting some real probiotics in your diet. Most of the stuff that's on the market is complete crap. It does nothing for you, okay? And then, take progressive outlooks on your health and every week or every month, take a look at what's changing and eliminate any, processed crap from your system. And that will be a huge, huge deal for you. Listen, here's what we typically find with our patients that do insulin resistance protocols like this. The first 1 to 7 days, man, you might feel a little headachy, a little, itchy, twitchy, and bitchy. But usually after 7 days, your body gets used to it. Within 3 months, you got huge changes in A1Cs, triglycerides, blood pressure. You can see a huge difference in the mirror of how you look. And within 3 to 6 months, significant metabolic changes, and the outcomes are powerful. And if you just keep this as your consistent, North Star, and remember that you're not broken, you're blocked. And insulin resistance is reversible when you give the body the right inputs it needs, the right minerals, the right nutrients, the right foods, the right movements in the right sequence. Remember, sequence of meals are powerful, okay? Fasting is powerful. Taking your minerals is powerful. Having your vitamin D3 is powerful. Going for a walk after a meal is powerful, and making sure that you're staying consistent with your plan of action. If you'll be consistent over the little, your body will do the lot that it's supposed to do, okay? So listen, you guys, thank you. You're 100% right. You guys, fiber first is important, all right? Protein at your second meal, okay? Absolutely, okay? So eggs are not fiber and fat. Eggs are fat, okay? They're fat and protein. So drink some fiber, Marlena. All right, get some fiber drinks and start doing that, okay? Yes, remember, insulin equals growth. Donna, you're right. If you eat and your insulin goes up, you're going to either grow muscles, you're going to grow fat, or you're going to grow tissue, which could be cancer. And you don't want that, okay? You don't want that, all right? Yes, Ashana, 1 protein, 1 gram per ideal pound of weight is huge. And yes, Shauna, you should do a digestive enzyme with each meal. These are non-negotiables that will help your body function the way it's supposed to function, okay? Absolutely. Well, yeah, you're right. Unbelief is what is cast out with prayer and fasting, but there's also lots of demons. And go look up Solomon. He talked about that. Prayer and fasting knocks out lots of demons, which are diseases, according to Solomon. Okay. Now, listen, it's important that you understand that fat stores your toxins. And in order to get rid of the fat, you got to get rid of the toxins. Okay. This is so beneficial. Okay. Debbie says, I get full so easy. So listen, what you got to do is start getting enzymes in your diet so your body can digest those foods more appropriately. Use the digestive enzyme formula we talked about, the Biozyme, and start getting some magnesium in your system. Darlene says, is krill oil better than regular fish oil? In some cases, it can be, but I'm a big fan of cod liver oil. I'm a big fan of oils from like sardines and krill, and I like extra virgin olive oil as well. And yes, Lori, you're right. One of the most important measurements is triglycerides and your HDL. All right, guys, listen, I've got to get going. I've got patients I've got to see. today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and get the notifications, and share this information. The truth will set you free, folks. The truth will set you free, but you've got to do the work to make it happen. So listen, I got to get going. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, get the notifications. Tomorrow morning, we're going to go deeper on action steps you can take, things you can do. I'll talk a little bit about, like, this is my yerba mate tea. I sip this all day long. It helps with my insulin resistance as well as other things that I do. So guys, tune in and be well. And remember, the best is yet to come. Have an amazing day. Love and appreciate y'all. See you in the morning. Take care.